If you've been watching all week, you know the question, but now this is your answer. The moment that Adam sinned, what did he do? He hid. From whom? From God. And we still hide from God too. There are so many distractions. It could be fear, it could be guilt or shame, whatever. But where in the Bible does it say if we are too fearful or if we're too guilt or too ashamed to run away from God? Guess what? You'll never find that book, that chapter, or the verse. And you want to know why? Because in Hebrews 4:16, let us therefore come boldly unto the throne of grace. How do we do it? We do it boldly unto the throne of grace, and that we may obtain mercy and find grace in the help in time of need. This thing that you need to be afraid of God and go hide, it's a lie from the pit of hell, okay? But I'm going to be honest with you. When my terminal illness showed up, it also exposed something that I kind of was holding back in myself. I wasn't hiding from God because I stopped believing. I was hiding because I wanted control. And control is just fear, just with a better outfit. But it still is. So the real question, God, what was God really asking? But he didn't ask. He knew where Adam was physically. So that was not why he asked. He was asking because where are you with me? You'll find out a little bit more too. Let's go to Genesis 3:15. And this is the seed of promise. This is the beginning of the gospel and the salvation plan. And so in Genesis 3:15, it was God's very first promise that Jesus was coming right there in the garden. Before the cross, before Bethlehem, God already had a plan. And then, let's go on. There was deep enemy between the snake and the woman. But that just means it's like a real seated a dislike or hostile, okay? And also, they talk about her seed. Her seed was the prophecy of the virgin birth of Jesus Christ. And then what? It says he's going to bruise thy head with a mortal wound on the serpent's head. And that's really Satan, okay? And there's two different times that he has done this. The first one was at the cross, right? And then the next one is going to be at the triumph of Christ when he can cast Satan in the lake of fire, and that's Revelation 20:10. So let's go back and go through what Adam and Eve did. When Adam and Eve first realized they were naked, what did they do? They attempted to cover themselves with fig leaves. Okay, I just want other believers to know something. This is the first work salvation. That's where they tried it already. So there isn't anything new under the sun. And so that's works. And God had to come, right? And he made them coats of skin for them. Now listen, because what God has done during this is very important, and it foreshadows the plan of salvation. And so this act requires what? The death of an animal, representing what? The very first sacrifice, and foreshadowing the concept of atonement, that sin requires a blood sacrifice for covering. Okay? And it symbolizes another thing, God providing a righteous covering for sinful humanity. And this was anticipating what? That the righteousness of Christ that the believers receive. So we can't cover ourselves. We needed Jesus. We needed the blood, and we needed the Lord to cover us. Okay? So Adam and Eve now are expelled. Why? Because of their fallen state. But think about it. This is really a visual showing of a separation of God and Adam. Why? Because of sin. They were no longer able to be in the garden and just talk with God and walk with God anymore. That was done. They had to leave, and that is a separation. So Jesus' death, burial, and resurrection was not plan B. Okay? This was demonstrating that God's plan to save humanity was in place from the very beginning, Genesis chapter 3. So when God asked Adam where he was, it was showing what? It was showing that sin not only results in a broken relationship, but sin separates us from God. So I'm going to ask you the same question God asked in the garden, not physically. Christian, where are you with God? And if you never accepted the gift of salvation, where are you and where do you want to be? I actually have the plan of salvation in my description of my channel. So you can find it there. And if you have questions, you can find me at Facebook, and I will answer any questions. But also remember, don't keep pushing it off, because you're always going to be one terminal disease, one cancer. Anything can happen. It can happen within a minute, or a second. It can happen the next day. It might happen, and you're not going to have time. And that's why 2 Corinthians 6:2 at the end it says, "Behold, now is what? The accepted time. Behold, now." Again, I ask you, where are you?